The psychology of a person who stopped hoping out loud. You feel it in the split second before you speak. That dull ache. That quiet pull to swallow the thing you were about to say. You open your mouth to name what you want, and instead you shrug and say, "Whatever is fine." You reach for your phone the moment the conversation stalls, pretending there's something urgent there, because standing in the space where a hope could be heard feels too exposed. You ask, "Need anything?" One more time, even after they already said no, just to stay useful while the part of you that wanted something stays quiet. It looks small. It feels small. But it isn't. It's a whole inner life learning how not to show itself. Notice how you soften your excitement before anyone can touch it. Notice how you downplay the thing you care about just in case it doesn't happen. Notice how you say, "It's not a big deal," about the things that actually are. You do it so smoothly now you barely feel the cut. You tell yourself you're being easygoing, flexible, low pressure. But underneath that, there is something else. A history. A memory in your body of what happened the last time you hoped out loud. Maybe you said what you wanted once, and it was met with a laugh, or a sigh, or a blank look that felt like being dropped into empty space. Maybe you reached for something and nothing reached back. So you learned. You didn't stop wanting. You just stopped letting anyone see it. You started keeping your hopes folded small, tucked away where they couldn't be noticed, judged, or taken from you. And that felt safer. Because hope, when it's spoken, can be heard. And when it's heard, it can be refused. So now you do this quiet thing. In restaurants, you let everyone else choose. You tell yourself it doesn't matter. But you still feel that small ache when your favorite option disappears. In relationships, you say you're fine with whatever pace they set. You pretend you don't care if they stay or go. But your body tightens every time you feel them drift. At work, you don't say what you're aiming for. You let people assume. You keep your ambition blurred so no one can tell you it's too much. This isn't a lack of desire. It's desire that learned how to hide. Your nervous system made a decision a long time ago. If I don't name it, it can't be taken away. If I don't reach, I can't be left hanging. If I don't hope, I won't have to feel the crash. So hope became private, silent, something you whisper to yourself at night and deny in the daylight. And the strange thing is, it worked. You stopped being disappointed so sharply. You stopped feeling that raw drop when something didn't come through. You gained control. You traded vulnerability for quiet. But it cost you something. You started living in the space before wanting. You started staying just behind your own life. You became very good at surviving without fully arriving. Here is the question that has been sitting in you for a long time. What happens to a person when even their hopes no longer feel safe to speak? What happens when the most alive part of you learns to stay hidden? You can feel it sometimes. That subtle loneliness that doesn't come from being alone, but from not being known. From not letting anyone see what you actually long for. You still feel desire. Of course you do. But it lives behind a layer of carefulness now. You say you don't care. You say it's fine. You say you're not expecting anything. And part of you believes it. But another part is still quietly leaning forward. Still listening. Still waiting. This pattern didn't come from nowhere. It was built in moments where hope was met with something painful. A dismissal. A broken promise. An absence where there should have been care. So your system learned to protect you by turning the volume down on your wanting. It disguised itself as maturity, as independence, as being low maintenance. But really it was just self-erasure in a softer voice. You didn't stop dreaming. You just stopped letting anyone hear it. and that keeps you safe. And it keeps you separate. You move through the world asking for less than you need. You keep relationships that never quite touch the center of you. You hold your life like something fragile you don't quite believe you're allowed to have. This recognition doesn't arrive like a revelation. It settles quietly, like a weight you suddenly realize you've been carrying for years. You notice how often you edit yourself before you speak, how quickly you pull back from wanting, how automatically you make yourself smaller in the space where a hope could have lived. And even when you are finally alone, with nothing to lose, you still whisper your hopes, as if they might leave too.